Hello and welcome to another edition of After the Whistle, Wednesday, September 13th on this rainy, more rain. Too much rain. Feel like we're in Seattle right now. All this rain we've had the past couple of months. But I'm here, Todd's here, trying to get through the week. Yeah, trying to get through this week. Oh man, before we get into all the NFL stuff, I'm gonna quickly this whole Kevin Porter Jr. thing that happened on a couple of days ago. Talk about my man. He's just trying to. He's like
trying to force himself out the league?
Yeah, pretty much, because he was on a short leash already with some of the other stuff that happened with him when he was in Cleveland, and now you got this situation going on now, and I mean, Grant is innocent till proven guilty, but it don't look good for him, and he's gonna get suspended regardless because you're a frequent offender in too much of the league, and your name comes up too many times for the wrong reasons to the league offices. So suspension's coming for him. And
self-control is probably one of the toughest lessons to learn in life, but once you master it, it's a great skill to have. Mm-hmm. A lot of men nowadays have no self-control, but you know what I tell you, man, there's a lot of men that are very sensitive people that don't know how to control their emotions. Mm-hmm. So once you get so mad at a woman that you have to put your hands on her, like, that's a mental issue. So for any man that feels it's okay to put their hands on a woman, just say innocent till proven guilty still, but if you think it's okay, you need to get like medical help. Yeah,
and with the details too, it's just like you need to learn how to remove yourself from a situation, just not like waste the opportunities you have or will have, because that's just what's gonna happen. You know, whatever opportunities you were gonna get, they just all went out the window just because this is on your record right now. Like just the whole headline of what happened and then the details into it was kind of like, ooh,
and too, I feel like when they give these athletes this much money and then they tell you the background they're from, it's kind of like their whole. I feel like it's kind of like a setup to a certain extent, kind of like I told you so type deal, because he's been through a lot, came from a lot, and he's shown that he's not growing. And that's the issue, just because like you wanna change your fortune for you and your family, but you also have to hold yourself to a higher standard when you start entering different rooms.
Yeah,
and I think he's realizing that. I hope he's now realizing that he has to change his ways, but at that time, he got to realize he's not like everybody else. And a lot of these guys want to be like just a regular Joe Schmo, but with the money. And it don't work that way.
Yeah, and you already got a bad image already, so it's just now, this just...
They never really, I'll be honest though, it never really gave him a good image coming into the league. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's one of those, I feel like they were trying to warn the league to a certain extent.
And then at some point, you giving the people ammunition, and you had numerous times to kind of change it. It seemed like he was changing that, and then, boom, right away as you said, he just leaves it up to people. See, told you so. I'm just gonna leave it up to people to say, I told you so, which is sad, but man, you just can't be doing what he's accused of doing, because the details are just kind of crazy. So
their injuries sound wild, bro. Like her spine is all jacked up.
So we'll see what happens. But man, it's just terrible decision making. The Jets might be cursed.
I mean, they're a state away, but it's still New York. I thought if they're in New Jersey now, they should have been the Jersey Jets a long time ago.
It's just one of those things. You're part of the New York team, but you got to play over here.
But my thing is though, but the thing is, they weren't always in Jersey, were they? Oh, they was? All right. Mm-hmm. Should have been Jersey just a long time ago, bro. But that's happening when you're under New York umbrella.
Yeah, but geez Louise, other way, all this hype coming into the season, you got the quarterback, so much energy going into the season for this team. Week 1, Monday Night Football, 4 plays in, and it seemed like their whole world crumbled. The energy just left the building. Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles, which is woo. at 39 is never a good thing. That's usually the sign you got to retire. Because I don't think we've ever seen somebody 30 plus or in their 30s, late 30s, come back from an Achilles injury in any sport.
I mean, we might need to see if he's going to be the one.
Yeah, we might, but it's hard.
I mean, but how bad can you feel for a team that can't block?
I mean,
Like, 4 possessions, you can't block one time for the man? And I hear people online saying it was a 3-step drop. He should have threw the pass regardless. The man wasn't even able to breathe the whole series. So, like, you guys are so, like, they were so excited about Aaron Rodgers. Actually, everybody was excited to see what Aaron Rodgers was going to do, but you don't even help him out with having a decent line? That doesn't even make any sense to me.
yeah. But to their credit, their defense was playing some extremely good football. They forced, I think, 4 or 5 turnovers. Then they just, it was that running game. And Zach Wilson got to look at this as another, as a second chance, because now you went through an offseason just playing behind Aaron Rodgers, so you got to see a veteran at work, because he got thrown in there with no veteran. I think he had Joe Flacco, but he got thrown in there to the Wolves. Now it's like your opportunity right now. He sees the moment.
He didn't really see anything, bro. He saw him in the offseason. He didn't see him in the season. So he's back to square one. He's back to where he started. He's looking like the play from Alabama. Like, they don't have confidence in the man throwing the ball. They got to bring somebody in. Sorry, bro.
Don't say from Alabama.
He's looking like the player from Alabama. You see the quarterback from Alabama play over the weekend?
No. I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, that's how bad he was looking, bro. They don't have confidence in him or Wilson.
I think Zach Wilson looked fine. The way they played, the way they did the game, they played the game. Hand the ball off, throw them short passes. That's what they gotta do.
Man, he barely threw the ball. Crunch time, he barely threw the ball, bro. You got to have confidence in your quarterback to throw something. That's just how it goes,
Do
man.
that touchdown.
Huh?
Do that touchdown.
My man, we're not gonna do that. You heard the analyst saying like, yeah, he threw a touchdown, but the wide receiver had to do everything to pull it in. So like
That was
basically,
the wide receiver's fault.
no, was it, bro? It was you see the throw he threw?
Yeah, that was a back shoulder pass.
Bro, he had to throw. He was getting held, had to catch it with his opposite hand, bro. That was an awful pass. It should have been over here. So I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to give him something, but no.
I'm giving them credit. I'm giving them
Stop
credit.
it.
As far as where he came from last year, they would have lost that game.
Nah, you didn't see what happened? They just ran it back in the overtime.
They would.
And
saying
4
if they
intos by Allen. I'm sorry. I get what you're saying. I get it, but I'm not agreeing.
No,
Sorry.
I'm saying him last year, they're down 6-13. They would have never won that game.
Yeah, I get
They
that,
would've
but
never
he didn't
had
really see much, though. He seen Aaron in the offseason. He get to see him in crunch time in the season. That's all I'm saying. He can only learn so much from the offseason. You got to see the man in prime time under the lights. He didn't get that chance. That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes you just need you just need to see how a veteran works to prepare for a season.
That's different offseason compared to prime time under the lights.
But back to Josh Allen, the most overhyped quarterback in the NFL. Most overhyped quarterback. Dude still turns the ball over like crazy. Dude still does some dumb stuff. He want to try to jump over a guy on I think it was like 3rd down or something. He wasn't even close to the 1st down. Try to jump over the defenders. I don't know why. This dude's not that great of a quarterback as people make him to be. I've been saying this for a while. Stephon Diggs the past couple years really saved him, but people's caught up to him in Stephon Diggs. And yeah, that ain't look good. All his turnovers was terrible. Terrible.
Their run defense is trash.
That's been trash for 3-4 years.
But you can't throw it on 2 guys, though, because they kept him in the game, which he played awful. He played one of his worst games, but I heard he had 4 turnovers in multiple games before this. But how you going to have a whole offseason and don't adjust the defense? Their run defense has been awful. And no reason why Reese Hall, granted, kudos, you coming back from injury, doing what he did to them. I think they're more emphasis on stopping the pass than stopping the run. Their run defense has been terrible since what year are we in? 2023. Their run defense has been terrible since 2019. Yeah, so
they've never fixed that run defense. And yeah, that whole window of them being a championship team, that's been out the window.
I agree with that.
That's gone because he turns the ball too. He's too reckless.
Yeah,
He's just too reckless. Too reckless. So terrible for the Bills. And those interceptions cost them the game.
I agree.
But also, how you gonna give up a punt return to walk it off?
I know.
That screams undisciplined team right there.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't care. Screw them. Buffalo stings anyway.
Good luck, Jets, man. I feel bad for y'all, but good luck, man.
Shoot. You seen the schedule?
Who?
The Jets?
Nah, I don't pay no mind to the Jets.
No, that schedule's brutal.
I only watched the game because I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to do something.
Let me tell you the next four. Next four. At Dallas, Patriots, back-to-back home games, Patriots, Chiefs. That's their next three. They got Denver, but then.
I mean, I don't like talking bad about hometown teams, but like some of them games are winnable for the Jets.
Denver for sure. Cause then, all right, Pats. Well, the Pats turnovers. We just talked about turnovers. And turnovers is the reason why the Pats lost this game. You could point to many different reasons, but they lost this game because the Eagles scored a defensive touchdown, and that turned out to be the difference in the game. And 2 opportunities to win the game late. You stop them, then you forced a turnover, then they went for it on 4th and 2, and you stopped them, and yeah, Mac Jones is not that guy. He's just not. There was like a few times in this game where I was like about to just tweet out Mac Jones stinks, but then they made a play here, so I said let me wait until the end of the game. He stinks, man. He stinks. He sucks.
They had the nerve to let that man throw the ball 54 times. I don't know why they would do such a thing. I mean, they got down deep. I mean, they got down early.
Dug themselves in the deep hole.
Yeah, so that's just tough to come out of that, just based on the time they had to try to come back. It was rough. And they're playing the Eagles, who's a solid team, who they don't really make too many mistakes.
Yeah.
And there's a well-balanced offense.
The Eagles made one mistake, and that almost cost them, but it didn't. But yeah man. Like Mac Jones, like the interception. That interception he threw, I get it's raining and stuff, but he threw it high over the receiver, and it was just like, bruh.
But that's the issue with you throwing the ball 54 times. If it's raining, 54 to 22 doesn't equal out or even make sense. They should have ran the ball at least 30 plus times.
And then when you need to throw it down the stretch, I don't know. I think there was like a bunch of those refs were kind of. Some of them holding calls that they were calling were kind of, but whatever. You got a whole bunch of penalties to move you back. Then you throw it on 4th down, and the dude can't get his 2nd foot down, and it was just like non-Patriot football. That's basically what it was. It was non-Patriot football. They do what Coach always says: don't beat yourselves. They beat themselves. You spot them 16 points in the first quarter. And then you're playing catch-up the whole game, and yeah.
Well, it doesn't help that they had Brady there at the beginning of the game.
They embarrassed Brady like that.
To, remind people what the Patriots culture once was. So there's no longer Patriots football. We got to develop a new culture, man. That left when Brady left. Logic left when Brady left.
I'm going to tell you, like I said, man, that quarterback if he don't have a good year and they don't at least make the playoffs and do something in the playoffs, man, we might.
I mean, I'll be honest, like, Alabama's not the place you really draft quarterbacks from. You draft every other position. Then you go to like some school from East Bum to go get a quarterback that ends up being nice. So like, I don't get it.
Dude stinks. I don't care. I'm gonna say he stinks. He stinks.
Well, I hope he's sure at least.
He stinks. Mac Jones stinks. Sorry to say, but he's not good. Oh, man. San Francisco, they went out the East Coast and they just beat the brakes off the Steelers. I mean, beat the brakes off the Steelers. They beat the living daylights off the Steelers. And it was, the defense was looking good. Offense was looking good. And, that's all I can say. They beat the brakes off the Steelers. But
I picked the Steelers by accident. I totally forgot what I said last year about they shouldn't win a game. I feel the same way this year. My bad, Purdy. I should have been picked y'all. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, and it wasn't even, it was just like bully football they did. The way they just beat them. It was like bully football. Purdy and Ayuk. I mean, think about it. Debo didn't really have the big game at the receiver position, but then Brandon Ayuk did, and then healthy Christian McCaffrey, you see what he does. He makes the quarterback's life a whole lot easier. And on the other side, their quarterback.
Go Purdy. Go Purdy.
Pickett, on the other end, that dude. Ooh, man.
I mean, you know, I always talk about balance, and for some reason the NFL doesn't care about balance at all. So I don't understand what you're gonna do running the ball 10 times.
That ain't even Steelers football.
Bro,
that ain't even their identity.
That's like they probably had 10 bench players running to the bathroom in between the quarters, more than that.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like 10, like, bro, 10 rushes in 4 quarters?
And for a quarterback who I don't think is that even good to be throwing the ball
No
that much.
disrespect, but who is he? Like, what school did he go to? Like,
Pittsburgh.
He went to Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he the fake slide guy?
I think. Yeah.
That's the only reason why I know a Pittsburgh quarterback.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he's a fake slide guy, but yeah, man. San Francisco. Their only issue is, can they stay healthy towards the end of the season? That's like their biggest issue. I mean, you've been to the NFC Championship game 2 years in a row, and like one of their biggest issues is health going at the end of the season. So, you know, they have everything. They have like a well-rounded team. They have everything. You just got to hope once November, December comes around, this team is intact and healthy, because they can make some noise. But yeah, that's been their issue the past couple of years, is just health-wise. And the Steelers, yeah, well, yeah, what he said about them. But they're
Shouldn't win one.
Man, Tua was lighting folks up on Sunday. Was lighting the Chargers up, and this is a guy. He came into this season with a chip on his shoulder, because so much stuff has been said about him, his work ethic, or can he be a reliable quarterback? But man, all I know is anytime I see this dude on the field, he's doing some crazy. He's putting up crazy numbers. And every time you're playing the Chargers, it's always something crazy is going to happen, because Chargers games are never normal games.
First of all, how are they going to critique him when the franchise was trying to kill him last year? Legit was trying to, like, paralyze him, give him dementia and everything before he's the age of 30. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't understand what these crazy critiques and opinions come from in regards to his franchise not even making sure he's safe.
Hey, man.
Like, I don't understand where these even come from. He's playing concussed half the time. Like, I don't understand it. Yeah. But the man went 28 for 45, almost threw for over 500 yards. He has the most. He had the most.
I think like, of the season, yeah.
Man,
of week 1, he had the most yards.
Like,
he was cooking.
At some point, I feel like if he stays with Miami and he stays consistent, he might be, rivaling. Marino for some records over there. So
especially when you got Tyreek Hill too,
and he has a receiver core finally. I never really cared for Miami, but my Hopper people, they're big Dolphin fans. So hopefully they make the playoffs this year at least. Just because I don't know what's going on with our hometown team, so at least support people, support good football. That's all I say.
That's another. This is another team, just like San Francisco. They have to have their offensive players stay healthy. That's it. Especially the quarterback. Keep that man healthy. I think they invested in the offensive line during the offseason to keep him upright, but I just know whenever he's healthy and he's on that field, they look like they could be the best team in the league, or the best offense in the league. I won't say best team, but they could have like the best offense in the league whenever they have all their offensive guys healthy. And I mean, granted, the Chargers they didn't play bad themselves either. They just couldn't get stopped. They couldn't get stopped at all.
Like when Miami can't even barely get any rushing yardage on you, I don't know what was going on.
And they rushed for 234.
Yeah, I know. Like their offense is pretty balanced, but Tua just turned y'all into tuna.
Legit, it was just one of those games, which is why I said this is a Chargers game. They just never in normal games. That team is, I don't know what it is about that franchise, but they just can't be in normal games at all. So.
I was gonna say, man, they've never really been the team you really look forward to make that run. So yeah, sorry.
All right. Man, this is the big. Well, I mean, maybe it's not a surprise, but granted, given the score, but Daniel Jones stinks. Jeez Louise, I can't believe they had that game on primetime TV. The Giants, they look Oh my gosh, PU, that was trash. They stunk. I know the Cowboys are good. They got like good players, but 40-0. And this is what happens when you want to give all your money to the quarterback and then the running back is getting undercut or shorthanded on the payroll. This is karma.
What this man said. Cowboys are playing the Little Giants this past weekend.
No, Little Giant, and that's being nice.
And Daniel Jones is blowing boogies out his nose.
Little Giants is being nice.
Yeah, it is being nice. At least they was organized. And they won at the end of the movie. But nah, I'm honestly, like, they should have just stayed home. They should have put the second string in. Embarrassing. I don't know what to say to that.
We had to pass the sticks at halftime. Oh, I passed the sticks after the first quarter. Same. They stink.
Like, even when I heard the announcer say the score, I'm like, hold on, he said nothing? I'm like, right. I thought he said 7, 10, something. I didn't even watch the game just because I didn't have any belief in Daniel Jones doing anything.
I watched the game. I started watching like late in the second quarter or something. I'm just like, and I just kept saying, Daniel Jones stinks. That's all I kept saying throughout that first half. I didn't watch the second half, but I just kept saying, this dude stinks.
It just makes me feel like Daniel Jones' daddy is good friends with somebody that just got him a great deal.
Well, you know, his coach coached Peyton.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
The cool Archie and all that.
Yeah.
What's
college
that?
Coach.
Like, my thing is, like, that's like me training a kid. And us knowing each other, you know what I mean? You gotta take this kid based off my word, like
that's league for you.
and millions of dollars, like at least bring him in and see if he can do anything first, or see a workout or two, and then but that's
He stinks.
People out there stealing money, man.
And back to the Cowboys, but the funny thing is the Cowboys, this is what they do every year. They do like September, October, they have these highs, get their fan base hopes up, and then when it crashes and burns,
I mean,
we here laughing.
It might change because, you know, now that Pollard's out there being the consistent running threat, Ezekiel was kind of holding him back a little bit, let's be real. Everybody was waiting for Zeke to be Zeke, and he never really turned into Zeke. So I'm just saying, like, he was the intricate piece as well as Dak and whoever. So I'm just saying they got CeeDee Lamb. So I'm just saying it might be a little change. I like Pollard and Zeke this year. So
I believe it when I see it because every time they have these great starts to the season, it just all comes burning down at the end, and it's just like. Man, if I was like one of y'all fans, I'd actually like sue y'all because the way they be getting their fans' hopes up.
Yeah, we just gotta see, man. We just gotta see. But I like what they're doing with it.
Yeah, they just dominated. That was embarrassing.
Well, I just like the roster and how they fit with each other. I just felt like Zeke, they were just waiting for a shadow of himself to be what he once was for them.
You got that money, start eating. That was the problem.
So, you know, hopefully, you know, he could be a little better for us.
Yeah. And then lastly in the NFL, Detroit, they went on the road and they pulled off that upset. Somebody said they need to give the coach his pet lion for the sideline.
I don't know why not. Put in the cage. What's the big deal?
Nah, because the dude is going to want to, like, try to have it on a leash and stuff like that, the way that man's wired.
I totally understand that. But you can hold the leash while it's in the cage.
Yeah, nah.
Why don't you get to hold the leash? You all right, bro.
The way that man's wired out there, you want that line right there next to him. But 8 drops. Kadarius Toney for the Kansas City, he had 8 drops. One of them led to a touchdown. Another one, it could have been a first down and some more if he had caught it late in the game. You're not going to win many games dropping 8 passes. You could look at everything else that happened in that game, but 8 drop passes and 1 turned into a touchdown for the defense. And man, I'd be sitting in that locker room just looking at him with that unamused face, like, bro, come on, man. 8 drops.
No, I agree. He had a bad game. You know what happens. Happens to the best of them. You know what I mean? So, rough one. Granted, they still had a chance to win. They were playing Detroit. They still could have made some better play calls in regards to offense being balanced because everybody, mama knows.
Did they go for it on 4th down a couple times in like there?
I'm not positive.
With a chance to like kick field goals.
I'm not positive. They probably did. And everybody, mama knows Mahomes is the guy that's going to get the brunt of the offense. So like you have to do your best to try to make it balanced, especially when you're missing pieces. Yeah. Especially when you have like a new receiving core to a certain extent. Yeah. So you want to adjust some things. But this whole weekend I was aggravating myself because I knew I should have picked Detroit when I paused that long old pause, and I was like, something was. Yeah.
I wanted to pick Detroit too. I just wanted to pick Detroit because of their coach. That's legit it. But but whatever. But they're trying to like try to show people they're not the same old Lions. That's like their mantra coming into the season. And
I mean, at least they could be like middle of the pack. You know what I mean? I think they'll be fun to watch this year. I don't think they're gonna have that many wins, but I think they'll be decent this year.
I think. Well, the thing about them, their division is wide open now. The NFC North is kind of wide open, so they might have a chance to win that division. And Jared Goff is. He's not making mistakes. He's playing efficient football at the quarterback position for them. He's been playing that for them that latter part of last season, and they got a whole heap of running backs that they're kind of interchanging. So, you got an experienced quarterback, and there's pieces around there. So, and they believe too. That's the biggest thing. They believe. Once you believe,
I tell you, even bigger thing. Goff is now in reality. Remember what I say about people that live in like California and down south? They don't really live in reality. When you don't see 4 seasons throughout the year, when you don't see snow, rain, heat, the hurricanes, like you don't really live in reality. Yeah. When you live in like Detroit, Northeast, we're pretty realists. Yeah. So now he came back to reality. He got his senses together. He got a little bite of that cold.
Yeah, that Detroit cold.
And we take these a little more seriously.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be outside walking in the gym and then we get smacked. So like he came back to he's been introduced to reality now.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I hear you on that.
And, I gotta lie. It might be tough living in Detroit, getting smacked around like that in the cold. So he's probably taking these a little more seriously.
Yeah. So shout out to them. Shout out to the Lions for the win. The biggest win of week 1 goes to them. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff that happened in week 1. We ain't gonna talk about all of them, but a lot of stuff happened in week 1. Raiders with the upset over the Broncos.
Is it an upset?
I mean, no, but
divisional rival. I know that.
Outside world, they thought it would be, but Broncos still looking like the same team from last year.
Did they not see what Mr. Russell did last year? What?
Oh man, let's go to Craig into our fantasy no huddle. He's gonna give y'all advice for who to start, who to sit. I went 0 for 2 in both my fantasy leagues this weekend. Well, I had Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, so see how that went. Check this out, then we're going to come back.
What up, everybody, and welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle, coming to you live from the crib, because, finally got to do it in the crib. But let's talk about fantasy. Week 1 is in the books, and crazy things happen. Aaron Rodgers out for the season. Deontay Johnson, hamstring. A lot of players just going down. It's ugly. But with that being said, you need some players to add to your roster. Aaron Rodgers goes down, you need to replace him. There's guys like Jordan Love, maybe Brock Purdy, just sitting pretty in the waiver wire. I'd snatch those guys up right away. You have in the, J.K. Dobbins out for the season. Do you need to replace him? Do you want Justice Hill? Do you want Gus Edwards? Do you want Melvin Gordon coming back? To be honest with you, I would say no to all of them bums. But if I was going to give a shot to anybody, in all reality, a lot of these analysts are saying, it's between Justice Hill and Gus Edwards. I'm telling you, I don't think I like either one of them, and I don't really like Melvin Gordon either. But if I was going to choose one of them, I believe Melvin Gordon has the potential, but I'm not really a fan at all. Roschon Johnson looks like he could be taking over that backfield. You might want to consider trading a piece for someone who's running back heavy and maybe you're wide receiver heavy. and try and offer a trade, but it's tough. I don't know if Mark Andrews will be back, but some tight ends you might want to, maybe take a little sneeze at. Logan Thomas had a fairly okay game. If tight ends are that depleted, Musgrave. If Musgrave hasn't been picking up, you must grab him because I think this dude is gonna go off this season. Also, Sam Laporta. I don't know if he's picked up, but he should be rostered. In the quarterback position, Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to have a tremendous game this week. Him and Calvin Ridley are connecting early and often, and he's reviving Zay Jones' career. And, Christian Kirk had a bad game, but, he could always turn that around. Man, if you weren't on the Puka Nacua hype train, you better grab your ticket ASAP, because this dude is like Miller Lite Cooper Kupp, and Matt Stafford has returned to form. Another quarterback who's, if he's on your waiver wire, is worth a grab. They have an unfavorable matchup against the 49ers, but I do believe that divisional matchup, they're going to play a little tougher. I think that this is going to be a game where they got to air it out. And Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell, another guy you can add if you're desperate. I think they could still have decent game. I wouldn't expect 23, 24, 25 points, but I would expect these guys to get into double digits, maybe low to mid-teens. Oh boy, man, this Bears team is not looking pretty. If you got DJ Moore, maybe you can try to sneak trade that guy away. But Justin Fields is always going to get you the points you need as a running quarterback. So he's going to get you those touches, those yards. So I'm always gonna plug him in. But anybody else on the Chicago Bears, until Roschon Johnson takes over that backfield, I'm not trusting any of those dudes. Lamar Jackson had a bad game last week, but look for him and Zay Jones to build on that connection. And if Mark Andrews is back, look for him to have a good game as well. The Cincinnati Bengals had a bad game, but roll with them. T. Higgins and Joe Burrow will recover. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon still looked good. I also do like Javonte Williams in this game. He had a decent game, double digits last week. I think he can build on that even more this week. A lot of people are running away from Marvin Mims. I would hold on to him for another 2 weeks to see what happens. I think he can make some moves for you. And the best defense of the week could be the Giants, trying to recover from a beatdown from Dallas. So throw them in your lineup and see what it does. That's all I have for you.
All right, and we are back. All right, we got Athletes Corner. We got Salem native Erik Groszyk, Salem High, Harvard. He lives out of Utah now, but we saw him at P2P. He chatted with us. I told him, come on down, let's talk. He loves the show, too. He's a fan of the show. So shout out to Erik. But we talked the Lynn-Salem rivalry and all that, talked about his time playing at Harvard and what he's been up to. So check this out. We'll be back. All right, and we are back. The cool thing about talking to Erik, he was talking about the Lynn-Salem basketball rivalry and stuff like that, and how just like cities are so close, and how a lot of the guys they've been playing against each other since like youth basketball and summer leagues and all that stuff is just cool, because like that's a rivalry. People, if you're not from around here, you will know it's a big rivalry, but that is a thing. Salem and Lynn, just basketball, or that basketball rivalry is a serious thing. And then everybody's like sees each other various times to like parties and stuff like that. So it's a cool thing if you've never been a part of it.
This is true. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner, and today we have a special guest, former Salem High and Harvard players, Mr. Erik Groszyk. How are you doing, sir?
Great. Beautiful day outside. Fought the traffic through puberty.
Oh man,
got myself here.
That after work traffic. Oh man, yeah, that coming back. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man.
Gridlock.
Erik is in town. He's been visiting family. He's been helping coaching. Just how good is it just to be back in the area for the time that you're here?
Yeah, we have a 2-year-old daughter, my wife and I. So we come back every summer, and it's a chance just to spend time with my parents. Since we live in Utah, they don't get to see her. So it's been great, and just being around the P2P, kind of seeing some of the old places and landmarks that I used to stop by when I was a kid. It's been awesome, and just kind of, all these memories coming back.
Yeah, definitely. You talk about the memories, just getting back to coming back to where you grew up, and just seeing some of the changes that's happened, and then you seen a league like P2P league. I know when we was growing up, we didn't have like a league like P2P like that. There were some leagues, but it wasn't like that. But just how do you like just the way some of the folks in the community have been able to put stuff like that together for the kids to give them just the opportunity to keep busy during the summer?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit on a lot of key points there. Obviously, we had nothing. I think the closest thing we probably had was like there's a summer league in Lynn, and then there's one at Forest River in Salem. Yeah. But those were all high school teams, and the thing I love about P2P is like the different combinations you get. Kids that might play against each other during the season with their high schools, or they might know each other from AAU, but then they have a chance to come together, be on the same team and compete, and just the way the crowd supports them. Mostly, for the most part, but the way the crowd's there, and it's like a really competitive environment, and I think that's what kind of makes it unique. And you have kids coming from as far south as Boston, as far north as Manchester, Essex, those towns, and then the Merrimack Valley, of course. So you get this really interesting mix of talent, and then I think you can't say enough about the job Kogi's done and his vision to bring that league to life, and every year kind of building it up to make it even better. I think the referees do an amazing job. I know they get some heat, but they're down there 3 or 4 hours a night for 3 or 4 nights a week, and they're there for the kids. Yeah, they're not there. I don't think they're there for the money. They're doing it, and I try to tell our guys, like, if we don't have the rest, we don't have a game. So
and you were coaching too. Just what was it like? Just coaching those younger players, seeing this next generation of basketball players, and from the North Shore and from surrounding areas. Just what was it like? Just coaching those young guys.
Honestly, I had no idea what to expect. I have some connection with the game still, just through family or through Coach Doyle at Salem High, who I still keep in touch with, and kind of watching his teams a couple times a year. So I kind of, I've kept a close eye on how the game's been changing, especially with skill development, and obviously the way the NBA's evolved in the past 10 or 20 years. So I wasn't really sure what to expect with coaching the age group that I did, and I was just so impressed with the skill level of the kids. Like, we're taking kids who are from anywhere from 8th grade to going to 10th grade. And I think the athleticism, the individual skill, it's really hard to compare to when we were in high school. I don't think it does compare. So that part was interesting. And then kind of seeing the way their feel for the game differs. I think for kids in this age group, their development was kind of impacted a little bit by COVID, not having some of those key developmental years where you're on the court with a team. So some of the team concepts might not be as strong, but the season with P2P is so short. It's not like we have practice every day. So I was so impressed with how much they were able to implement on the fly, whether it was just things I was telling them individually or things I could tell them in a timeout, and to see them put that in practice. And just the overall level of effort, and seeing kids buy into wanting to win, wanting to be the best team in the league.
Yeah, definitely is. Let's take a little stroll back to your playing days at Salem High. When you graduated in 2005, and think about your Salem High teams. It was like at a point you guys were it was like run and shoot with you guys. You guys got up a lot of shots. Your teams got up a lot of shots, but you guys kind of were playing kind of like that Phoenix Suns style a little bit with the finding the open man and putting up a lot of shots. But just how fun was it those years for you playing at Salem High?
Oh, those are obviously some of my best memories playing, and guys on that team, like I mentioned, Coach Doyle. Prior to that was Coach Hanscom, and those are people I still keep in touch with.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach Doyle came your second year, right?
He came after my second year, so he started coaching when I was an 11th grader, junior. But yeah, like the style we played, I remember you mentioned the Suns. I think we used to have a drill where Coach Doyle would put like 7 seconds on the shot clock, and we'd play up and down, and you had to get a shot up in 7 seconds. And it's funny, I'll be like talking to people at the park or just talking about basketball in general, and they'll always complain about kids taking threes. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if anybody takes as many threes as we took in high school at Salem High. Like you
guys are definitely one of those teams in the NEC that definitely when you had to play the three-point line on you guys. And there were some times you guys had teams that were projected to make a deep run. You guys had a lot of good teams just in those state tournament runs that you guys had. What are some of your memories in some of those state tournaments games that you played in?
I mean, the one that comes to mind, the one that people still talk about is one against Charlestown that we had. I think they had won four state titles in a row. And at least in this area in Eastern Mass, they were kind of seen as like the dominant force. I mean, they were the dominant force as far as boys high school was concerned. And really, no one really expected us to beat them. We played them in my junior year at Chelsea High, in I think the North semifinal, and we just played great. They were coached by Jack O'Brien, who had coached at Salem High, so there was this whole backstory around him coaching. He coached Rick Brunson, I think Scooney for part of his time here, and won multiple state championships here. So there was just kind of this homegrown rivalry, grassroots story, and they had this press, and we were lucky we had the guard play and a guy named Pat Shea who's bigger, 6'5", 6'6", and he was able to kind of see over the press and help break it, and we pulled off the upset, and that's just one of a few memories I have from the state tournament. It always meant a little more to be playing in the state tournament, especially when we had those home games.
It definitely. And then you played at the NEC during the time where it was such the Salem-Lynn rivalry was such a big thing in the NEC time. Like those Salem High Lynn English games or Salem High Lynn Classical games was just one of like the most sought after games that people wanted to see. I was there for a few of them. I was there for a few of those games. With just like playing, going into Lynn, and then vice versa, them coming into your house and being in a packed gym. What was that atmosphere like for those that never got to experience like such a rivalry with cities that are really like 10, 15 minutes apart?
I mean, I don't know. Like I don't get to go to nearly enough high school games today. But these were intense games. Like it just felt like they meant something, especially guys from playing pickup at the park, and like there's just a lot of pride. These were just regular season games, but I think with the intensity, they felt like championships. Especially with like the summer leagues I mentioned, we might play each other 2-3 times during the summer as well. And you sent me that video of the game you played at Lynn English, and like one of the first things I remembered was the crowd. And it's the same when the Lynn teams would come to Salem
I think that game ended in like in free throws, right? You think you guys made some free throws late to win that one? Was it that one or that?
We won in overtime.
Yeah,
we won in overtime. And you can kind of, it's obviously the perspective of the cameras from the stands, but you can overhear the crowd, and you can kind of see people moving along the sidelines. And I mean, that's one of the things I miss most about that high school environment is just the fans. And it's not just your classmates, but in our case at Salem was like a lot of friends and family and the whole community. Teachers, they would come out and support.
Definitely. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were you also a candidate for McDonald's All-American your senior year? Were you?
That I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I know Danny. So I had a teammate named Danny Frazier, and he he outscored me, but I was the point guard, so I was like happy. You know, it's kind of a badge of honor that he outscored me in our career. But you know, he had well over 1,000 points, and I know he got a nomination for sure.
All right. Move on to that. If you finish your career at Salem, then you're going on to Harvard. You're going to play in the Ivy League. First, describe the transition when going into college, in your first college game. What was like your emotions, and like how's the transition for you from high school to college? Because every time I ask people that question, the first thing they always say is the speed of the game is so much faster.
The speed and the physicality, I think, is like, those are definitely the main things. Just the way the ball moves. You know, you see like the ball doesn't really stick in people's hands is one way I like to describe it. But yeah, the ball's moving really fast. Like, I played on a great AAU team when I was in high school, and you know, we had 5 or 6 Division I guys, 6'10" guys, and scholarship players and everything. But you know, guys are just so much more skilled and developed. You show up and you're 18 or 19 years old, and there's guys who are 22, 23, and they've been playing in a college system for a few years. You know, they're just a little more tuned into what's going on. And then the systems that either you're playing in or you're playing against are a lot more complex. So the game planning is a little more detailed than you're probably used to. And then, like, especially, you know, Ivy League, any Division I school, even, you know, D3 schools for that matter, like, everyone can play a little bit. You know, it's not like a high school game where you might be able to take a possession or two off. Like, you're out there, the guy you're guarding can play, everybody on the floor can play.
Well, what are the practices like? 'Cause I think that's one of the biggest things. Like, practice is pretty much. Some players say practice is a lot harder than the game, than when game time comes.
Yeah, the schedule. I mean, it's hard. Like, this experience for me was now almost 15 years ago. The thing that kind of jumps out to me about that transition, that period in my life, was just the schedule of, like, you know, you think you have like a long day in high school because you have to be there at 7:30 or 8, and then you have practice until the evening. But, like, you know, there's times of the season in college you're getting up to be ready for a 6 o'clock practice or 6 o'clock conditioning, and then you're going to breakfast, then you're going to class all day, you're back at the gym or the training facility by 3, you know, and then you got another 4 or 5 hours ahead of you between lifting and practicing and film and everything else. And, you know, it's by that time it's probably 7, 8 o'clock, you still have to get dinner, you still have to do whatever work you've been assigned, and like, you're just in it. You know, you're 18 years old. Everyone's, you know, preparation varies, but from that point forward, you're just in it, and that's your life for 4 years.
It's pretty much your full-time job right there.
It's like you've got to be a student, and then hooping's like a full-time job. And it's funny because it might sound like I'm complaining, but I cherished every moment of it. And some of those friends that I made on that team are still some of my best friends. And just to have that connection to something, you know, in this case, Harvard basketball, and the program's gone on to have so much success under the new coach, like the coach that became coach when I was there. So there's a lot of pride there for me, and just the learning experience too, to be around, because the coach Tommy Emmerker, he had been an assistant at Duke, had been a head coach, Seton Hall, Michigan, you know, national champion as a coach while he was at Duke, and one of the best recruiters in the country. To just be around him 3-4 hours a day and learn from someone like that who's so locked into their craft, and it's like truly, you know, can show up at a place like Harvard and be a visionary, and paint a picture for people, players, professors, administrators, and kind of take that school and do something that never been done there before. It's like, it's inspiring.
What's your most memorable game at your time at Harvard, if you could remember?
Geez, I'd have to think about it. There are some, you know, I think one thing that always comes up is playing with Jeremy Lin. And like, I guess for anyone watching who doesn't know, he played in the NBA. He had like really meteoric rise as a member of the Knicks.
NBA champ too.
NBA champ with the Raptors. Yeah, he's way more than whatever that brief Linsanity period was. It's hard to think of just one game, but just the experience again to play with him too, day in, day out, and kind of see his commitment to becoming a pro and everything that he sacrificed and put into the game. if I think about one thing, it's probably that. You know, we had some upsets against BC. One cool win that we had was Michigan. Coach Amaker had been hired from Michigan, and we just happened to have a home split with them. So we played at Michigan when I was a sophomore. They came back and played at Harvard when I was a junior. And to beat them at home with Coach Amaker, kind of for Coach Amaker, you can kind of tell when the coach wants a win. Personally, and that one was special.
Yeah, definitely. And then before we get out of here, throughout just your basketball journey, I know you're in Utah now, but what are some of the things you took from playing at Salem, playing at Harvard, the various teammates you had, and being around those two settings? Like, what are some life lessons that you took that still help you to this day?
And this was one of the things that, it's a really good question. I think one of the things that I really wanted to bring to P2P this summer, to my team at least, is like just getting kids to kind of break down their own, egos, for lack of a better word, and just really commit to like playing for each other, playing with each other. When I think about the Salem teams I was on, when I think about the teams I was on at Harvard that had any type of success, that's kind of the characteristic that sticks out to me the most. And like anything I've done in my life, basketball-wise or professionally or within my family even, it's always when it's like, you're committed to something larger than yourself, and you're trying to support something that is beyond your own needs, So bringing that to trying to instill that in the team a little bit, I would say that's the main thing, and like that's really not about talent. That's not about where you're from. Like I imagine there's teams in the area that share that same tradition, share that same history, and that's what I love to watch. And I hope my team kind of expressed that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And then lastly, what are you up to? As you said, you do live in Utah now, so what are you up to these days? Any coaching in your future, like high school or anything out there, or are you just doing what you do right now?
I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to, with a young child and needing to work, I'm trying to find the balance where I can make room to do more coaching. But until then, I'm still going to keep trying to find opportunities to teach and help out where I can. And I just try to tell people, like I hope people here who are watching this can see me as a resource and learn a little bit about my story. And just reach out if they have questions or need anything. Yeah,
definitely. Make sure you follow his IG, which is right there, @NewPlots. Send him a DM if you have questions, if you want some shooting tips, or if you just, anything. If you just have questions, just go ahead. Feel free to, don't be shy. Send him a DM. He'll answer. If you see him at P2P, well, today.
Say what's up.
Yeah, say what's up. My man. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Oh, man, you guys been watching Athletes Corner. We're out of here. Have a good one. Yeah. All right, we got my man Joseph Barrett from The Item. He's back with us. We're going to talk about the games over the weekend, this past weekend. I preview a couple games this week in the high school football world. So check this out and we'll come back. All right, welcome to our segment with Joey Barrett from The Item. He is back with us. Man, we're going to recap what happened last week, and then we're going to give you all a preview of this week. But first, we started off with a thriller Friday. St. Mary's and Kipp Academy came down to the wire. Man, that was a heck of a way to start off football at Manning, for the high school football at Manning. What was your outlook on that game?
Well, first of all, let me just say, during about the third quarter to fourth quarter, I was thinking to myself, whichever team loses is going to be okay. These are two programs who made the Super Bowl last year. Both lost a lot of players, but have a lot of star power back. And it was really, Ernie Panias was a big difference. Forgive me if I pronounce the name wrong, but I think I had him for 82 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then St. Mary's only has 2 possessions in the second half.
Yeah.
But That's kind of all they needed. Ernie took care of it.
Yeah. It was like the big players for each team. Mornell Castro, he had a good game himself. I mean, Chanel Gutierrez filling in at quarterback with those 2 rushing touchdowns. Kip will look back at it. I think they just the time management down the stretch in that fourth quarter when they had the chance to take the lead, and then some of the play calling, they might look back at it like they could have done a few things differently. And I felt like there was no sense of urgency because the time was clicking, the time was going, and I felt like there was just no sense of urgency on that part during that stretch.
And when I talked to Coach Jim Rabbit of Kip after the game, I asked him, which players kind of stood out to you. It took him 1 second to say Chanel Gutierrez. And he had a strong game. And Rabbit also told me that they have to change their offense. It might not be as dynamic as last year with all those deep passes and tricks. So they're going to be just fine.
I agree with you on that. They'll be definitely just fine because it's week 1. There's room for improvement. Second game of the evening was not. I tweeted out like we might be getting close to hitting rock bottom. The way English performed against Lawrence. It seemed like Lawrence was in the backfield the whole game. That defense was in the backfield the whole game. The Bulldogs could not get anything going offensively at all. Their defense held up for a while. Their defense was playing great for a while, but I was texting somebody. I'm just like, they're getting tired. Defense is getting tired, and then boom, the 90-yard touchdown happens, and that was it. Do
you think that this was an off night for English, or do you think if they played 10 times that would happen?
I mean, from what I've seen, let's put it this way: English in the last 8 quarters have not scored a point. English in the last 8 quarters have not crossed the 50-yard line offensively. English in the last 8 quarters, I don't think they've had positive yards total in the game in the last 8 quarters. So
I will say this: I like the locker room presence. I like head coach Anthony LaFrada and what he brings. And they started 0-4 last year. So can you count out the Bulldogs? I mean, it does not look good though. From what I've seen, from what I saw on Thanksgiving and from what I saw on Friday, it just does not look good. Nothing was working. Nothing. No big plays. The only positives I could take out of that game was their defense that held up for a while, and their punter was giving them good field position. So those are the 2 positives I took from that game. But everything else, it just did not look good. I will say, like we talked about last week, their offense is going to have more imagination moving forward, as Anthony told me, and maybe they just didn't get that chance with how aggressive that defensive line was of Lawrence.
Yeah.
Once the offense gets its heels back.
Maybe, but that offensive line, I had really high hopes for them. So that offensive line, but
okay.
They got a chance Thursday to make up for that and get back on track. So we'll see what they do to the adjustments they make when they play Swampscott on Thursday. Then we come into Saturday. Man, we had 2 good games Saturday. First up, Central High and Lynn Classical. Even pregame festivities, they had pregame greetings at midfield. But man, that's what you could ask for a football game. It was just plays all being made all over the place.
Well, you and I greeted each other too during the hour and a half lightning delay too.
Right.
But we stuck it out, and good thing we did.
Yeah.
And a great job by everybody, by the way, at Manning.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought they definitely got the job done, and it was the right call to play. As for the game itself, Tyron got it done early, 2 touchdowns, and I believe a 5-minute stretch in the first quarter. And then, man, I love Brian Vaughn Jr. At quarterback.
Yeah.
I love his ability to step, hit that slant pass. I like him when he has to scramble. He had that one play where he really just, defensive lineman was coming after him, ducked right under him. And then you saw the heart in overtime when he got that touchdown, and he was pumped up, as was John Naskey. So Classical, your pick on Classical is looking pretty good.
Hey man, their playmakers stepped up. But what changed in this game? Because they looked like they was starting to blow it open when they went up 14-0. Then that kick return by Central really got them in the game, and that kind of settled them in. And then after that, they were playing at an evenly matchup for throughout until John Naskey gets that touchdown late. to give the Rams the lead, and then these guys come right back to get that touchdown. But a shout out to Julius Patterson with the blocked field goal. He too, I think he's a sophomore. He stepped up for them. He had some big runs in that game. So I'm looking forward to see him. Now he's going to get more opportunities with the injury to Tyron. So he's going to get more opportunities. We're going to see what happens. Then the last game, Lynn Tech and Malden. Oh man, I know you said you had to leave, but Malden was in complete control of this game, and Tech broke off I think like a 60 or 70-yard run by Alberto Gerardo. Then they get a touchdown. Then Cesar Reyes, their next possession breaks off an 85-yard touchdown run, and then boom, you got a pick six, and that right there seals the game. And it was just like. It was such an emotional win for the Tigers that Coach Rabbit did the post-game interview. Coach Runner did the post-game interview. Usually he lets his players do the post-game interview because he wants them to have that shine. But it was such an emotional one that he joined his players in the post-game interview to talk about the game. That was, yeah. Woo.
By the way, in the city of Lynn, are there many more people that are fun to talk to than him?
It's Coach Runner, definitely. And man, yeah, I was just like, because when he did it, I was surprised. He joined him on the post game, but yeah, he really was proud of his team and how they fought, and it's just dug deep.
They're going to be fun to watch. And Lynn Tech Athletics as a whole. You talked to Athletic Director Adolph Groszyk. Tech's coming back. That's a quote from him. So you look at basketball, you look at volleyball, you look at football. Something's going on at Lynn Tech right now, and I like it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we got some more games this week. All right, starting off Thursday, we got Lynn English going to Swampscott. We got Kip hosting, I think it's Latin Academy they're hosting. Latin.
Or Boston Latin?
I think, yeah, Boston Latin. St. Mary's hosting Winthrop, and then Lynn Classical is traveling to Peabody. Just overall, what is some of the things you're looking to see from these teams in week 2?
The ultimate test for Lynn Classical. Peabody's a very good program, coached very well by Mark Betancourt. And we've talked about classical star power. Peabody's going to match that star power. They've got Eli Batista. They've got a great sophomore quarterback. His name's Luke. He's going to give Classical some problems, I think, but it won't be decided early. This is going to go down to the third or fourth quarter, and a big test for the Rams. Yeah. Nasky and Vaughn. On the road too.
Early season. These are the kind of games that when you look in like the latter part of the season, you'd be like, oh, this is what this team is made of. What I'm hoping to see, I just want to see a better offensive performance. Remember last week I told you I need offensive consistency from Lynn English? That is what I'm going to be looking for again. I need them to put points. Because honestly, if they can put up 14 points, they could win a game. Because I think their defense is good enough. If you put up 14 points, I think their defense could hold the team to maybe to 7 points. I think the defense could do enough to win. So I just need the offense to get it going, because if you go again another week without scoring, then we're going to be in complete rock bottom.
And Swampscott coach in his first year, Peter Bush, he's doing a tremendous job. But at the same time, it's week 2 with him at the helm. So will Swampscott be better in week 8? Probably.
Yeah.
So let's see what English can do.
Yeah, and also they're coming off a tie in which they played, I think the game was in Auburn, and it ended in a 15-15 tie, and they want to MIA wants to finish the game out. It's ridiculous, but there's that. Kip Academy, I think they'll bounce back. I saw a lot of progress from them. I saw a lot of good things they did offensively and defensively on over the weekend. Last week, I saw a lot of good things, and then I think Lynn Tech, I forget who they're playing, but I think we might. I'm not too concerned. I think so. I'm not too concerned about all the teams. I'm just concerned about one team, one program in the city right now. Every other program right now, for this, I like their matchups, so that's my only concern. So, new articles out?
New articles are out. We've got a great team at the Item right now. Shout out to Anne-Marie, Mark, Joe. New articles, itemlab.com, and the paper every morning except Sunday morning.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll both be at the game tomorrow, and then we'll be at Manning, and make sure you check us out. Make sure you check us out. Well, my man, thank you again. He'll be back next week. We might divulge into soccer next week a little bit, maybe. But
Absolutely.
maybe. We'll see y'all later. All right, and we are back. It is time for our boxing update. Why is everybody ducking Shakur Stevenson? Why are they ducking him? Frank Martin, I mean, it seems like he got scared of something. That deal fell through. It's not happening, so.
It's because he's the baby face basher.
So Shakur Stevenson, he's set to fight Edwin de los Santos. They've agreed to a fight on November 16th in Vegas for the vacant WBC lightweight title. So yeah, but geez Louise, it's like, when was the last time? It's been a while since he fought, because every time he wants to fight, people don't want to fight him. I don't understand it.
I didn't think that was even allowed. I mean, I know it is, but it shouldn't be. Like, if a guy want to fight you and you're of his caliber and you're in shape, get your ass in the ring. I just don't. And then it's like, how do you look yourself in the mirror when you turn down a fight? Like, how do you go home? How do your parents greet you when you go home? You know, on holidays and stuff like how do these conversations go? Because I know if I turn down a fight and I'm a professional boxer, you know my family, bro.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Yeah, right. People stop ducking him. And then quickly, UFC Israel Adesanya, he lost. It seemed like this dude wasn't even. It seemed like he threw the fight. It seemed like he was just there. He really didn't feel like fighting. It was just weird.
I heard it wasn't much he could do. I heard he was getting tagged with precision.
It was just that one round.
Yeah, I heard he was getting tagged with precision.
And then it was just like, the whole, everybody the people that covered the fight, it was just like his whole vibe, even before the fight happened, it was just off. He was just like.
Yeah, he probably might have ate something wrong. His diet might have been a little off. Did he have to trim weight and stuff? You know, his body might have just felt off. You know.
I think he had other. I think he must have had a party plans or something like that. His mind wasn't there.
Yeah, he might have been, getting some trim before he went in. You know, we never know.
All right, let's go into our list too. We got highlights and we got interviews. First up, we're gonna do. First up, we got. You know what? I don't know why I did it this way, but whatever. I'll do it that way. First highlight, we got Boston College versus Holy Cross. This was actually a crazy game. So Boston College was up 31-28. Then they got the warning, severe thunderstorms heading in that direction. It was like under 2 minutes left in the game. Holy Cross gets the ball. I'm like, all right, let's get this out the way. And then they suspend the game, and there was a 2-hour delay. And I'm just like, bruh, of course they were a 2-hour delay. They do this right at the suspense of the game. They had a chance to go. But Boston College ended up winning. Holy Cross fumbled, but the Holy Cross fans took over that stadium. They took over that stadium. Check these highlights out. We are back. All right, we're going to do this a little differently because, there's a lot of interviews and stuff like that. So check out this array of post-game interviews from games over the weekend, from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from the high school football slate. So this is an array of post-game interviews. So check this out, and then we're going to come back. How you like the focus of your team coming in this game?
I thought they were very focused. We've got a senior leadership core that made sure that they were ready. The seniors, if you have a good group of seniors, you have a good team.
For you, many years doing it, another year for you. How just exciting is this time around for you?
Too many years. No, it's this time of year is always exciting. This time, Thanksgiving and Super Bowl. So I'm hopeful that all three will be good days for me and for the team.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Coach, you guys came out here, pitched a shout out on defense. It seems like your defensive line was in the backfield the whole game. What were you guys doing to them?
Listen. Our guys came out with the mindset of dominating up front, and they understand that without that, we have nothing. So I'm very, very proud of them up front. Linebackers on the back end did their job. The D-line freed it up for them. They're stopping the run all game long, stopping that quarterback. He's elusive. He's a tough player. So that was a good athletic team that we played against. I'm very happy with what we saw up front.
Offensively, you guys kind of started off slow. Then it seemed like that first touchdown pass got it going. It was like 6-0 for a while, and then you guys got the big play over here. I mean, can you walk me through that play?
Yeah, he's a man. He's a young man. We call him David Man. We call him D-Man. All right, so he's a great kid, and we just finding ways to get our athletes the ball. And when they come out and want to dominate, we do a good job. So I'm very, very proud again of the effort that they gave. And like you said, we started slow, but beginning of the season got the jitters out. I'm hoping that we can continue the momentum into next week and just execute at a higher level. So that wasn't everything that we want out of our offense. We know we could be better. All the guys know we're going to be better. So that's where we're at.
As week one, you guys came on the road, traveling all the way from Lawrence.
Yep.
How much of a big boost is this for this team as you guys move forward to week two, just knowing that they could travel and put a dominant performance like that?
I've loved away games since I've played football. I love coming to other people's home stadiums, putting our feet on coffee tables and having a good time. So, it's not every week that we come out with the win. It's not every week that we come out and dominate, especially on the road. We've had some struggles the years past, but this year we're hoping we can continue to stay healthy. And like I said, we come out and do what we do. So this was a great road win, good environment. Just happy the way we handled everything today, from traveling to all business.
Congratulations on the win, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Coach, what a way to start the season.
I'll tell you what.
Had the two possessions in the second.
Yeah, to open up this season with a community school across the street from us and open up the stadium, the first high school game of 2023. I think it was a great game. Obviously, we got a lot of work to do across the board. Early in the season, in a tough environment tonight with the weather and the way it was, and a lot of guys going both ways, a lot of young guys starting. It was a good win for us against a very physical KIPP team.
Yeah, what did you guys do after that first drive? They drove down, scored, and you guys, it was like even for a while.
Right, so I think the biggest gave up too many big plays in that first drive by missed tackles and not making the one-on-one plays, did us in on that drive. But then I think the big play, which is head coach's nightmare early in the year, is special teams. And they did a nice call on the onside kick and got us, and that put them in position to go down and score. So they really took momentum. But we found a way to grab it back, with that next drive. I think we scored in 2 plays coming back, and then got the 2-point play, which was huge for us to come back and hold on. But then again, they come back, and we have to stand up again in the goal line and get a big turnover to finish the game with like 11 seconds, I think. So good win. It was a good win, good way to start the year, but we got a lot of work to do.
Definitely, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, my man.
Coach, what a way to start the season. Overtime game, you guys got the last stop on defense. First of all, talk about the block punt and then the 2-point conversion that John Todd to give you guys a lead for that.
The block punt, we stressed that. We worked that every day this week. And the crazy thing is, no one's probably gonna believe us, but we told Julius Pass and he blocked it, Juju, you're gonna get one this week. you're gonna get one this week. And we talked about how, like, guys, when we practice this stuff, it's not a walkthrough. I know a lot of guys think at this level that special teams isn't that important, but it's the reason why you win and lose games, right? We gave up a score on special teams today. You know what I mean? And we evened it out with that block. So, you know, we stressed special teams all week long, and it showed tonight with that big block. So I was happy for Julius for that, because he's a kid that, you know, he's a sophomore. He ran hard when he got the ball. You know, played JV last year, and this year he's getting his opportunity to run the ball a little bit and stop corner for us. For him to get that block, for Julius, we call him Juju. It was great. It was great seeing that.
Definitely. And now you guys move on. You got Peabody on Friday. Tough win today. And now you guys got to prepare for the.
Yeah, you know, Peabody's tough. Peabody's always tough. We played Peabody. This is our second year in a row. Peabody. You know, 2 years ago we went back and forth with them. They pulled it out at the end, and then last year, you know, they just, you know, they came in there and kind of ran us over. So, you know, we know what type of team they are. They're going to be physical, excellent skills. So we have to have a great week of practice, and hopefully we can make it a game.
All right, Coach. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach. That was like a tale of two halves. What changed in that third, fourth quarter that got you guys right back in this game?
First off, I want to give a shout out to Malden High School. They had a good football plan on here today, and as far as what happened or what changed up, defensively and offensively, we just wanted to push the ball inside of our tackles a little bit more, but we were able to get our outside game moving with Alberto. And I thought it was really important for Jadiel and Ethan to get on the same page and communicate with each other as far as getting the ball out. But I can't say anything less about our running backs. They did a very good job. We got some breakaway runs in the second half. A lot of penalties brought us back. You know, we don't ever want to go backwards, but that just gives us something to work on the film.
All right, young guy, Jadiel. First varsity game on this field. You guys are down. How did you just keep your composure and come up with the big plays offensively, and you had the big interception?
Just had to stay calm, stay focused, pay attention, communicate with my teammates, and just keep all together.
For the other guys, Ethan, tell me what you saw in that 2-point conversion that got you guys to tie up the game.
All I saw was they kept on biting in inside. So this time I took my time to the outside, faked inside, went outside, and it was all green from there, and just trotted into the end zone pretty much. Great blocking and everything.
Yeah, to set that up, there was the big run. Then you got the pick six that kind of sealed it. Can you just walk me through those two plays?
My line was doing what they had to do, and I just had to step up and do what I had to do. So that I saw that green, and I had to go.
It's a big run, young man. It was a very big run.
Caesar, you had a big play too.
Caesar had a big play too. Me and Angel are always on top. In practice, we're always killing each other. We always want to be better, you know.
And how you guys feel just to start off this season 1-0, hard-fought victory? You guys really had to dig deep to come out with this one moving into week 2. Just how good you guys are feeling collectively to pull out a win like this?
You know what? I'll answer this question. We're excited about what we did tonight, but we're not satisfied. As far as I'm concerned, once we get done with this, when we get back to the locker room, we're going to put this down and we're going to move on to next week because we are not done yet.
All right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much, y'all.
All right, man, you guys had 13 points before the offense even got on board. You got 20 points running like one offensive play. You got that pick six. What did you see on that play?
On that play, it's really just get to your guy, track his hip, and then look for the ball once you get there.
Yeah, definitely. How'd you like how the defense came out, set the tone, special teams set the tone too? Just how
this week we've been working real hard. You know, we came out, did what we had to do. You know your assignment. That's all it is, really.
All right, new season. You guys are riding this 30-game winning streak, but how did you guys just not let that affect the performance today? And you guys are just focused on right now.
Honestly, it's just do your assignment. You know, just focus and practice. Practice leads to the game. You know, bring focus every day.
All right, lastly, you guys going down to Florida. Just how excited are you to go down there and test the Florida team and see the way you guys are?
I'm very excited. You know, I thank God for this opportunity. My family. You know, it's a real blessing to be here.
Definitely, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
How excited are you just to kick off the season? You got 2 touchdowns. I mean, a lot of teams are coming to you guys, knowing the winning streak you guys have. Just how did you like the focus the team came out with? You guys set the tone really early.
We had great energy. You know, started the game off right with the return, and you know we came out the gate strong. Like offense didn't really have to do that much at the start of the game. Defense was really putting it on them, and I think it just made the offense job easier.
Definitely for you, what did you see on those 2 touchdown passes? And then you caught some other passes, but what did you overall you saw on the offensive line?
I think I got to give credit to my quarterback, Peter Bork. You know, he really put those on the money. You know, #1 QB 2026, I promise you, in the state.
Definitely. You guys are heading off to Florida next week. Just outside of you to get to test this team's ability against a team down there in Florida.
Yes, sir. We're ready. You know, we've been playing teams from Massachusetts for a while, and you know, I think we need some more comp outside of Massachusetts, and I think Florida's the perfect place.
All right, man. Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate you.
All right, Mukala, man. Offense. First of all, before you guys could even put up some points, defense and special teams got you guys started early. Then you came in first play on the offense. Tell me what you saw on that play.
I know I could trust my speed. I seen the outside, and I just burst it. I kept going. I seen it do on the side of me. Just kept going.
And offensively, a lot of new guys getting playing time this year with all the guys who graduated. Just how did you like how your quarterback played and how some of those other guys stepped up and played this game?
Well, Peter, he's a young guy. He's learning. He's a new experience. He came back up, but since we seen from the Super Bowl experience, we seen what he do. We see what he can do. He has a lot of potential. We all have stuff to work on. Everybody has stuff to work on, but he did good. Our wide receivers been working hard. A lot of young wide receivers, and missed a few pieces on the O-line, but we picked that up.
And that first half really dominated both sides of the ball. You guys forced a few fumbles and had the pick 6. Just what does this say about this team with the loss of the Bulls players, but all these new guys stepping up? You guys are still able to focus.
It really shows our depth on our team, and it shows our depth, how much like we can threats. We have threats on all levels. Threats on defense, offense, all the special teams.
How excited are you to get down to Florida?
I'm very excited. It's a great opportunity for more exposure, and it's a business trip, as I said. A business trip. We're not coming down there just to win.
And I know you guys are just focused right now, but how good does it feel to keep this winning streak going?
It feels great. It's an honor to Coach Dibs. Keep his record. Keep going. We're gonna keep it going, and the next level is really Gillette.
All right, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, fellas, you guys came here on the road, offensively put up 27 points, defensively pitched a shutout. I mean, tell me what was working on both sides of the ball.
Everything was working great, you know. The defense started out strong. We stayed together. We sticked as a family and a team as a unit. We just balled and kept our foot on the gas, you know. The offense did their thing. It started off slow, but we kept rolling and we put the points up. You know, we did our job. We executed. We did what our coach wanted to do. You know, everything went well.
Jaden, walk me through that touchdown pass, that first one to your man right here. He just took it 90 yards and then walked me through the other one.
Oh man, so it was a breakdown play. Had pressure on my right, got out, just threw it to him, and it's D-man. He's a man, so we get that ball to him, he's gonna take it to the curb mostly every time.
Yeah, Danny, can you tell me about that play as well?
So I was just trying to catch that ball, try to get a first down, but then. Yeah, I gotta thank him for trying to block for me. If it wasn't for him, I would've got the touchdown. But yeah, I was just trying to chug to the end zone. Then when I got there, let me fall down with him.
Defensively, you guys were in the backfield a lot. I don't think they crossed the 50-yard line. I don't think they had positive yards the whole game. I mean, can you guys just talk about collectively as a defense how y'all were just able to hold them and just not let them get anything going?
So this whole practice week, we've been working on reading our keys and containing the quarterback.
Setting the edge.
Yeah.
That was the most important one, setting the edge, not letting him get outside. You know, our coach was on this all week about setting the edge all day, every day. Set the edge, set the edge, set the edge. You know, I was worried, you know. Hey, they said he was fast, but, you know, we got to execute. Hey, fire to the ball, 11 guys, wrap up, you know, do your thing. Do your 1 out of 11. That's what coach tells us every day. Do your job, do your part. We stick together as a family, going to get things done. Stay together.
Pretty much, I think we were coming into this game, our coaches was just telling us, like, everyone do their job, and as long as everyone does their job, we're going to come out of here with a win. So you feel me? That's how we came out. We did our thing, and we stopped the runs, the passes, and they really couldn't do nothing. They were just shut down.
All right, guys, how does it feel to start the season 1-0?
Feels great, man.
Amazing.
Coming back from...
wrong. That's all I got.
Gotta keep going next
we got
week.
something to prove.
We got what you said next week.
We ain't done. We ain't
ready.
done.
We ready.
Not done.
Something to prove, man.
Thank you for having your time talking to us. We
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
Congratulations on the win, fellas.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Ernie, this was a physical football game. It was back and forth for a while. You guys, tell me about that last possession, that defensive possession. You guys got that strip fumble.
Yeah, we all were heads down. We locked in. It was very crucial for us. At least had to stop him. The fumble was all skill. Big shout out to Foof, who made him fumble, and that was really great for us.
Offensively, you guys started off a little slow. Then it felt like you guys kind of got your groove on in like the third or fourth drive. Was it just the offensive line taking over and you finding the holes?
Yeah, and big shout out to Kip, too. They clearly watched film on us, knew a lot of our plays, so we had to adjust to that. And towards the second half, we got that rolling.
All right, you was hurt a little bit. Can you tell me what happened on that one?
Really, I just got to drink more water. Cramped in both my legs. That's a big lesson for me. Drink more water, stretch more, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
All right, man, 1-0 to start the season. How do you just like the way you guys started the learning experience from this?
Yeah, big learning experience. We got a lot of young guys out there, missed a really core piece on defense, and we didn't want to have a big fight like that, but it's a really good learning experience, so I'm going to carry that on to next week.
All right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Game. First of all, that touchdown pass we had over here to help you guys regain the lead. Tell me, walk me through that play.
Honestly, I was just trying to do everything for my team. You know, I'm a leader on my team, so I want to do everything, make sure everyone's straight, and make sure I provide for my team the way they provide for me.
All right, you guys got up 14-0, then it stalled, then they tied it up. What did you guys do in that sprint just to make sure they didn't take the lead or anything?
Honestly, it was just us knowing what we're supposed to do and knowing that we're better than ourselves, better than everything that we've been through. So it was just us locking in and doing everything we were supposed to do from day one.
And then lastly, you guys get the block kick there to send the game to overtime. You pretty much seal the game over here with the 2-point conversion. Just talk about this win for the team and how it helps you guys as you move on to week 2.
Honestly, it means the most to me. It means the most to the team. You know, defending our home at turf. You know, we want to be as best at here as we can forever. And we just wanted to win as more than the other team. That was all it was.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We are back. Okay. I just threw y'all an array of interviews. Now we're going to have an array of highlights. So highlights, 5 games. Mansfield Catholic Memorial, Lawrence versus Lynn English, St. Mary's Kip Academy, Lynn Tech, Malden, and Lynn Classical versus Central High, which was a funny game. Check these highlights out, and for the first time, we're going to do top 10 plays of the high school season, too. So check these highlights out, top 10 plays of the high school of the past games, and then we're going to do our game picks when we come back. Top 10 plays from week 1. At number 10, it's Ernie Panez Jr. He takes the ball, he breaks the tackle, he's up the middle, and he's off to the races, and the Spartans win over Kip Academy. At number 8, we go back to Manning Field where Chanel Gutierrez found Monel Castro, and he does the rest, running past the defenders and into the end zone for the touchdown for Kip Academy. At number 7, we have Lynn Classical senior wide receiver John Naskey takes the pass from Brian Vaughn Jr. He eludes the defenders, gets to the sideline, breaks a tackle, dives into the end zone for the touchdown. At number 6, we are headed back to Catholic Memorial where Speed Kills running back Mekhi Dodd takes it and he hits the corner. And once he hits the corner, there's no catching him. The defender tries, but no to cigar. And he's off 80 yards to the races. Touchdown Knights. At number 5, it is Lynn Tech running back Cesar Reyes takes the hands off, hits the hole, and all he sees is daylight. There's no defender catching him, and he's off to the end zone to tie the game up at 14 for the Tigers in a win over Malden. Number 4, Catholic Memorial is really good. Chris Sanchez just reads this play, picks it off, all he sees is daylight, pick 6, touchdown Knights. The Knights would score 27 points in the first quarter of their matchup against Mansfield last Thursday. Lawrence High opened the season up as heavy underdogs against Lynn English, but in the second quarter, Jaden Abreu found David Monon, and he takes it 90 yards, breaking tackles and getting some help from his receiver as he flies downfield and gets the blocks, and he dives into the end zone. At number 3, we have another pick 6, and this time it's from Angel Gonzalez of Lynn Tech as he takes the pass, and he goes the other way to give the Tigers the lead for good. At number 2, it's been defense and special teams in this top 10. This time it's from Central High's Messiah Brentel. He takes the kickoff, loses a tackle, off to the races he goes, 65 yards for the touchdown. And at the number 1 spot, it's back to Catholic Memorial we go, and this time it is special teams. The Knights on Thursday scored on defense, offense, and special teams, and getting things kicked off was returner Eric Perkins. He takes the opening kickoff 90 yards, Speed Kills, and he will go to the house for the Knights' first score of the night in their win to extend their winning streak to 31 games. All right, and we are back. Okay, time for our game picks for week number 2. We're going to start off Thursday Night Football, Vikings visiting the Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles, man.
Me too. They're at home. I'm going with the Eagles.
They don't even got cooked no. I forgot about that. But yeah, I'm going with the Eagles, bro.
Sunday Night Football, Patriots, Dolphins. We're going to go against the Pats. Packers, Falcons. In ATL, both are 1-0.
I got the Packers, man.
Me too. I got the Packers. I like how Love looked. Raiders, Bills in Buffalo.
Oh, I'm going with the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders too. I like how Jimmy G looked and how they played. Ravens, Bengals.
I'm going with the Ravens. I'm sorry, I'm going with the Ravens, man.
I'll go with the Ravens too because Bengals never start the season good.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks, Lions.
Go with the Lions, man, because I don't know what Seahawks doing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Lions. Chargers, Titans.
I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one.
I'm going to go with the Titans. Bears, Bucks.
I'm going to go with the Bears, man. I can't do that.
I'm going to go with the Bucks just because I ain't like how the Bears look.
I ain't like how Baker called that man boy like that.
Yeah. You know you got to fight.
Yeah, you got to see me.
Especially you letting Baker Mayfield talk trash to you. Come on, man. Out of all people, him. Chiefs, Jaguars. This might be a high-scoring game.
I got the Jags, man.
Got the Jags?
Yeah, I got the Jags.
Chiefs just signed Chris Jones and Kelsey's coming back, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Why you always do that? You always do that when I make a pick. You don't never say that before I make the pick. I'm sticking with my pick, though.
Yeah, you was going to stick with that pick anyway, regardless.
It's just I need all the information. I need all the ingredients.
Colts, Texans. I liked how Anthony Richardson looked.
Yeah, I like the Colts, man.
Me
the
too,
Texans
I like the
just
Colts.
Texans, man.
49ers, Rams. Mind you, 49ers have had their number in the regular season.
I'm going with the 49ers anyways.
Me too, 49ers. Ew, Giants, Cardinals.
Yeah, that might end in a tie.
Dude, I hope so. I'm
but
going to go with the Cardinals.
Who was it again?
Giants and Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Yeah,
man.
me too. Yeah. Jets, Cowboys in Dallas.
You go Cowboys, man.
I'm going to go with the Jets. About to ruin their home opener. Broncos, Commanders. Commanders. Saints, Panthers.
I'm going with the Saints, man.
That's Monday Night Football.
Panthers ain't ready yet.
And then we got the Browns and the Steelers. Oh, Monday Night doubleheader.
I'm going with the Doo-Doo Browns.
You go with the Browns. I'm going with I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I'm gonna go with the Steelers. Oh man, that's it. We come to the end of our program. Make sure you follow him, Mr. Burton23 on Instagram. Mukala K on Instagram. Make sure you stay safe out there. LynnTV.org. Catch up on everything. Just make sure be safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel.
Don't be a hater like Mr. Lyles. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate hater. Mm-hmm. Man, ask you a question about your sport, you rear off to a whole nother universe. You like the ultimate hater, bro. Like, get out of here.